I'm Nathalie Sturgeon, and welcome to Southwest Magazine. The International Homecoming Festival has been bringing people together for generations, celebrating not only our local communities, but also the unique friendship between Canada and the United States. This year, there is another chapter to the story as the community has come together to ensure the festival continues. Joining me today are co-chairs Chandra and Andrea Walton. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
So let's talk about what International Homecoming Festival is for people who might not understand what we're talking about.
Well, I mean, it's an annual event that's been occurring for 53 years, as you mentioned, as of this year. And we have events on both sides of the border that are coordinated by the committees on each side. We also have some major significant events, which are the fireworks, which are displayed in Calais. We have the parade on the Saturday and the opening ceremony, which occurs on Wednesday.
And there's a parade that comes through the international border as well.
Correct.
Which is very unique. As I learned last year, that's not something they typically allow to happen. I know you're sort of not historians in the traditional sense, but how did this festival begin from what you understand?
So my understanding from speaking to someone local who is quite the historian is that this started, basically the roots of it are back in 1691, actually, where they had Frontier Week, which at the time was definitely a major celebration with events that are similar to what we would have today, although quite different, but similar in theme, I suppose. And over the years, after Frontier Week was quite successful, it eventually morphed into what we have today, which it was the International Festival, and then eventually became the International Homecoming Festival. So it's a very unique, exciting kind of a tradition. And one of the things that I thought was interesting back from Frontier Week is they would even have a election for an international mayor. So I thought that was, quite interesting.
That's fun. Andrea, you've been with the festival for 3 years. How have you noticed it evolve over the last, at least several years anyway, in terms of changes that have been made and that sort of thing?
Yeah, I mean, there's been some good changes, some bad changes. We've tried hard this year to bring back some of the old stuff that we had. Kind of failed at that, but time is just not on our side this year. On Calais side, we used to have what they used to call the cow patty bingo, and you literally would have cows in a parking lot with a bingo board painted on the parking lot, and when the cows had
Amazing.
Yeah, and people would have pancake breakfast inside, and they'd be at the windows watching to see where the cow was going to land.
This feels like a really fun festival. I'm learning as I go. And so what the fireworks and the parade, what sort of parts of this festival have sort of stood the test of time? What has continued, maybe despite those challenges in the past, for either one of you?
Yeah, I mean, the fireworks, I know a couple years ago we were short on cash. The city of Calais, the council, they offered to pay for the whole thing so we could have fireworks. So the municipalities on both sides seems to step up when times are hard for us. So that's always very appreciated. And the parade, that's long-standing. We have to have it or it goes away. So
Right, and that was something that they said last year. The border agents, or at least the customs agency, said, if it doesn't happen, we sort of won't be able to continue. What do you think? I know last year they were challenged to sort of on the St. Stephen's side to get this. What do you think draws people back, and what do you think about this year sort of drew the community back in to the festival?
Well, in terms of drawing the community back, I think it's probably the signature events that we have, and then any unique events that are going to be put on. I mean, I don't have the experience from previous years. This is my first year as the co-chair. I think for this year, the community is probably curious to see how this new community-led committee is going to manage. Maybe they're supportive, or they want to support a new community-led committee again, and just looking forward to what they always look forward to, which is getting to see each other, getting to see people who may have been out of town, out of the province, who are coming back. Just the camaraderie and the community of talking to people, possibly going over the border, and if Calais people are coming over here, because there are so many families and friends, right, living on both sides of the border. So
yeah, and I heard it last night in the mayor's letter from Calais, talking about how it's, you know, we may be separated by a border and a river, but we share our collective values and community. What do you think makes, Andrea, I'll start with you, what do you think makes the relationship between St. Stephen and Calais so special?
Well, just bouncing off what she just said, we're mostly family. I mean, most of my family is Canadian, so I always kind of laugh. You know, I'll tell people I'm 3/4 Canadian. My dad was full Canadian. My mom's half Canadian. So we're family. So it's more than just a border. It's way back. Even I could, as a teenager, you used to be able to just walk across, just give a wave to the border agent, and you were on your merry way. So.
I read when I was looking into the history and talking to Darren McCabe that in the, I believe it was the 1700s or 1800s, I forget which year, which century, there were 70% of marriages were international, one on each side of the border. So that doesn't go away, right? That just keeps
the lineage just keeps going. Yeah, absolutely. And have you incorporated any events this year that sort of celebrate those connections, or are you hoping in the years to come to be able to expand what events you are holding that bring the two sides together?
Well, I kind of think that the theme lends to the whole idea of the history of the festival. So the theme being through the years. Originally when we talked about it, I think we were thinking that what about just celebrating all the different themes of the festival, and people could just pick and choose and look at their old photos they might have. But for me and our committee on the St. Stephen side, the more that we looked into it and the more that we thought about it, and then thinking about the 250th anniversary of the United States of America, we thought that the theme was just so appropriate. And so, which is why I started to look more into the history and, you know, put some information out there. And now when we start to communicate about the theme, we're talking about, it's a bigger theme in terms of, yes, through the years about our local community, but it can actually be very broad as well. Anything that that people are interested in, or trends in music or that type of thing. So I think it was that for me the theme seems to be really where we're looking at building on those relationships and that history.
And I know it is America's 250th birthday, and I would be remiss to say that the relationship between Canada and the United States is maybe not what it was maybe a couple of years ago, but we love our American neighbors, and as you said, we're family with Calais. How do you think that plays into this year in particular, the geopolitical context and the festival itself? Andrea, I'll start with you.
So I can just mention Monday night at St. Croix Idol, which is kind of it's festival led. So it's every Monday night it's a singing competition. We have both American and Canadian contestants, so the park is always packed. Monday night, the very last contestant chose to sing the national anthem of the United States, and there was not one person that was sitting. Everyone stood. They were not asked to, but everyone just stood. And in that moment, you had Canadian people, you had American people. It was a beautiful moment. So it's just community, family. We always come together for everything. So.
Chandra?
Well, first of all, for us, the committee that we have again people who their spouse is is American, or their parents or something like that. So that is really fun, and just to see everybody stepping up and wanting to make sure that this is going to be a good event. We do see certainly some skepticism, I suppose, and around maybe not crossing the border with the parade. And I think that that's more to do with just having to go through, checking their ID and stuff like that. We don't hear any sort of negative conversations about it or anything like that, which is really great as well. So it seems mostly it's maybe just the red tape kind of thing. So yeah, it's been so far so good, very positive.
And how do you get over that? You know, for the skeptics that do exist, how do you bring the festival and present it to them in a way that says, listen, this is about celebrating our shared values, our shared community. How do you overcome that challenge for the people who may be skeptical about the festival or about crossing the border? I know I hear a lot of people who say, I won't cross now because of, you know, so how do you overcome that?
Well, for us, what we've done is everyone has the option whether or not to cross. So for the parade, there's sort of the off ramp, I suppose you might call it, where they don't have to cross the border. And everybody has their reasons, and I'm okay with that, and it doesn't need to have a discussion if that's not something that needs to be had, if they're not interested or willing, and that's okay. It's just, I think, just again, being a power of example that this is what it's about. It's not about what's going on beyond our community. It's about maintaining and just celebrating what we have here in the relationship between the two towns, and yeah, just talking about it and showing that we're very positive about it. It's something to think about just locally.
Andrea?
Yeah, just to add on, I mean, people not crossing the border in the parade, that's been going on since I was a kid. Okay. It's not anything new. And again, when I was a kid, there was no red tape. So I remember being on the float with my grandmother for the hospital, and you'd get over to the Canadian side and I'm like, there's another whole parade over here. You know, like there was just so many floats that wasn't on the American side, and vice versa. You know, there was a lot of floats that didn't cross. So that's been going on for years and years. So I don't think that's anything new. I do see the political aspect that is a little bit hindering, but I think it's becoming a little bit better. As you know, we keep preaching that we're community, we're family, we're friends. Don't let the political play come into it. So.
Yeah, it's not about our communities in particular. It's
right.
about getting together. We're going to go to this next chapter of the festival. What are you guys most excited about for this year? Chandra, I'll start with you.
I'm excited for the actual thing to happen because the build, and to be honest, I'm sort of, am I even getting excited yet? Because it's just been so much work and so much thinking and planning. So, but I'm certainly interested to see any of the new events that we're putting on, or they're new to us for sure, to people who've already been participating in the past, who've been at the festival. I'm excited to see the fireworks because I haven't seen them here before, so I'm excited to see that too, and I hear that they're absolutely amazing, so I am excited to see that. But yeah, and I'm excited to see just what it looks like down here, you know, with all the people here, like, I mean, talking about down in St. Stephen, you know, and what it's going to look like having a bunch of people around milling about, and so yeah, so I'm excited about everything actually.
Andrea?
My all-time favorite is the parade. Usually, since I've come on the committee, I don't get as much time to just sit and watch the people, but just watching the kids light up, I mean, that makes my whole year. So that's what I do it for. So.
You guys put my boss in jail this year, I think, because I don't think she's raised that $400. No. So whenever you want to come get her, you can come get her. But what was the purpose of doing events like that, in particular, in relation to the festival?
I think it's a couple of things. You know, first of all, obviously to generate funds to help us to pay for the things that we need to pay for, whether it's this year or in future years. Also, I think you are probably aware that the Jail and Bail fundraiser was a 50-50 split between the festival and the food bank. So we really want to partner with some local organizations, and the food bank seemed like they're in need. So we thought that would be a great opportunity, and to generate awareness of the festival. So the more that we can get people interested and participating, or just thinking about it, talking about it, I think that's going to benefit the actual participation, you know, when the festival actually is here in August.
Andrea, did you jail anybody in?
I did not. We did not have a play in that. We actually were going to try to do it on our side too, but we just didn't have the staffing to do it. So our committee is very small, and our police department's just a little bit smaller, actually. So we just didn't have the staff this year to do it, but hopefully next year we can join in on the fun and have one on our side too.
Yeah, you can start making a list of people you'd like to
Absolutely.
like to jail. Yeah, amazing. You know, you guys are taking the festival over from the town, because I know the town has been involved. It's been a bit of a back and forth. It was with the community, then it went to the town. Now it's coming back to you. How is that process going for you on the St. Stephen's side?
So my understanding is that the town took on responsibility for the festival, I think in 2018, so they've been doing it quite a while. So the transition to us has been fairly smooth, I would think. I mean, certainly it's a huge learning curve for us, but the town's been very supportive and right there for us every step of the way. They're going to be helping us with boots on the ground for the parade, because that's a big deal, and some things at the opening ceremony, the barbecue and things like that. So that's been, you know, it's really good for us to know that we'll have some experienced people there out, you know, with us as the festival is going along. Yeah, so we'll see how things progress. You know, next year maybe we'll be even more independent. You know, every year that we get more experience, you know, that we'll be able to do things more independently. But yeah, so it's interesting the way things have gone, and the speed and the learning has been significant for us. We're a very small committee as well. So it's a lot, but the volunteers, we could not have done any of this without all the people who stepped up to volunteer to help us out. So,
Andrea, it's always been community-led on the U.S. side.
As far as I know, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
But I will say that our municipality, the city of Calais, they've always been great. They actually involve themselves. You know, the council people, they always ask me, how's it going? Do you need anything? They're always very supportive. So it's always been great since I've been on the committee. So.
How, from your side, do you think having it community-led has changed the festival? Because I remember when the council was discussing not having it, and the community started, I remember watching online the momentum that started to kind of tumbleweed itself down the hill, so to speak. How do you think that's changed the festival, and how do you think it will change it as it progresses in the future?
Well, I think, so we saw last year that it was almost like a rally cry, that there was so many people that stepped up in a very short period of time. And so that was very interesting and very exciting to see, and also hopeful for what we could accomplish this year. I think that from the town's perspective, returning it to being governed or led by the community meant an ability to expand, hopefully, resources, meaning volunteers, but also the creativity, you know, and the town has done a great job in putting on what they can put on, but they only have so much capacity as well to be able to put on new events or switch things up or grow events. So, you know, I think for us, our community committee is really hopeful that this year what we're going to do is we're focusing on quality. So we might not have, you know, a slew of events that are happening over the festival, but we really want to make sure that the ones that we do put on are going to be high quality and fun, and things that people will talk about when they, you know, leave and they go home or go visit their family, so that they're already looking forward to next year.
And what, you know, I know planning a festival is kind of a 365 days a year thing, and once one's over, you start from the next one. But what's the moment where you guys are going to think, okay, I think we've done it. I think this is it. This is the festival that we want to perfect for this year in particular. Like, do you think there'll be a moment, an aha moment, or will you just be stressed straight to the line?
I mean, even after day one is through, you know, this opening ceremony and the events that we have planned for that day, that's, I think, our busiest event schedule on our side. I'm not sure about in Calais, but I feel like once we get that one done, that'll be a really big sigh of relief. I mean, the parade is a really big one, so, you know, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I think those two big ones will really be the test.
For each of you, what does it take to be a co-chair? How many hours are you putting in? What is this job like for people who maybe haven't co-chaired a festival or maybe want to get involved? We'll plug that, getting involved with the International Homecoming Festival. Andrea, I'll start with you for this one.
Yeah, so I mean, I couldn't tell you how many hours. I just do what I do. It's, it's the helping of the planning, it's the interviews, it's the hitting deadlines. It's that you're usually the person that everyone comes to for questions. Yeah, I will say it is a lot, but again, I wouldn't think of any other way to do it. So I enjoy doing this position. Yeah.
It's a labor of love.
Yeah.
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 And for you?
I feel similar. And maybe it's a little bit more stressful because it's our first year. I'm hoping that the future years would be a little bit less stressful as we get everything under our belt and know, the number of emails and questions I've had to ask the town, just as things come up. So those things will start to go away, as we start to get things, understand everything. But it is a lot of time. I too cannot tell you the number of hours or the amount of time because it never seems to leave because I always have, you always have your phone. So there's messages coming in on every channel that you could imagine that people are looking for information, and then the meetings, of course, which are maybe boring for some, but for those of us who are attending, it's so much collaboration and decision making and excitement around setting timelines and how we're going to achieve those timelines. So it's something that I quite enjoy. It's a little nerve-wracking because it's I don't know what the word is, being the exposure, and so the eyes looking at you to see how are they going to make out this year, what's it going so if it was all behind the scenes and you never had to pop your head out, it might be easier. But
where can people find information on the St. Stephen side for events and what's taking place during the festival?
Well, likely one of the best places that people could go to look for information would be our new website. It is internationalhomecomingfest.org.
And for you, Andrea, how can they find events, listings, that sort of thing?
So we always do the brochure.
Okay.
We pass those out at all the local businesses in Calais. We pass them out when we do our road toll. And then we always have them on Facebook too. So that's International Homecoming Festival right on Facebook.
And if people want to volunteer to help with the parade, anything having to do with the festival, how do they do that from the St. Stephen side?
We have a St. Stephen Community Hub Facebook page. They can message us, they could email us, which is internationalhomecomingfest@gmail.com. And also even just through the International Festival Facebook page as well. I think those are probably the best ways. Either way, we're going to get those messages, and all of our events will be in the brochure as well, and we'll be putting them up in probably our community page as well. So there's going to be even events that don't make it into the brochure, because the brochure has to be produced before, well in advance. All the information will be available elsewhere.
And is there any separate contact information for the U.S. side, or?
Besides the email and the Facebook page, you can always catch me at the City Building. I work for the City of Calais, so I'm usually there 8 to 5. So
you heard it here first. These are how you get involved. And so for anyone who might be coming for the first time to the festival, what is one event each of you would recommend that they go and see or participate in?
I would definitely say the parade and the fireworks.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, if there's only one day that you can get there, Saturday is the day. We have our street fair, the parade, the fireworks. Yeah. That's where it's all at that day. So.
And so we're coming on to the end of our time, but I have a few final questions for you. So when this year comes to a close, what do you hope people will be talking about when it comes to the festival? What do you think they'll take away from it? Andrea, I'll start with you.
Just that they had fun, I guess. I mean, we always hope for the best. We always take any complaints that we do get and we try to fix them for the next year. Sometimes we just can't do that. Sometimes you just can't make everybody happy, unfortunately. But we hope for positive feedback, I guess.
And for you?
Mm-hmm. I think that's the same. I mean, we really want people to have fun, whether it be the signature events or the smaller events, for kids, the events that are being exclusively put on by the town. Like, we really want people to have fun. And it would be really great if we heard people say, I think I should help out next year. You know, that would be really great, because the more input that we can get, the more help that we can get, you know, that's just going to really make it take off. So yeah, I would love to see that, to see more people thinking about participating. And if they can't, then at least just to let us know what they liked and what they didn't like, where they thought we could improve. I think that would be really a good outcome as well.
And I know festivals like these wouldn't be possible without sponsors. I'll get each of you to just touch on who's been supportive on each of your sides. Chandra, we'll start with you.
We have had so much support. So I'm not going to list all of them, because I would then, of course, be here for a long time, and I would miss somebody because I don't have it written down. But local businesses, local realtors, we've had so much support through sponsorship. It's just been really amazing. We've also been supported by Kathy Bacchus in her community investment fund, which of course that's really great for us. We've been so well supported by the Municipal District of St. Stephen, and just the food bank, you know, they've been there helping us, and you know, not only did they just come for the jail and bail, but they're providing a lot of support to us, you know, behind the scenes and looking at helping us with other events. So the community support has been amazing, and we have a couple of local businesses that are just helping in, I shouldn't say just, helping in ways that are sort of in kind through the bottle drive. Old Roots Acres have been helping us, and the Redemption Center. So it's just and we have another, I have to make a call out to the Oak Hill crew, because all the videos that they've done, they're helping us, created the website, helping with just keeping that going. So the support's just been, I can't even express the amount of excitement and gratitude that we are feeling because of all the support.
And across the river?
Same. For years, our local businesses and just local people, they have kindly donated thousands and thousands of dollars over the years. So we are greatly appreciative of that. And then again, City of Calais, I mean, I couldn't even imagine how much overtime we pay on Saturday, you know, because every person that works for the City of Calais, they're there helping. So huge kudos to the City of Calais, because they truly keep it running. They really do.
And what are the exact dates of the festival?
So Wednesday, August the 5th, all the way to Sunday, August the 9th.
Okay. Well, thank you both for coming into the studio and joining us today to talk about International Homecoming Festival.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My guests today have been the co-chairs of the International Homecoming Festival, Chandra Best and Andrea Walton. I'm Nathalie Sturgeon. Thanks for watching Southwest Magazine.
Southwest Magazine is a news and public affairs production of CHCO Television.